Hi, welcome to the first outdoor test of the new JJRC model, the H8D. This one is the FPV version, a real one, not the H9C D, sorry. This one is really a 5.8 GHz FPV system. As you can see on the back, the rear of the camera mount, you can find a 5.8 GHz antenna, and you will find orientable lens. I will explain everything, detail everything in my unboxing video. I install a small piece of foam in order to absorb extra vibration, in order to have completely jello-free video. So the camera module is actually filming in HD ready format, so 720p, and the video transmission is done in NTSC, locked into the 5645 MHz, so using a buscam frequency, one of the 8 frequency of the buscam band. So concerning the quadcopter, exactly the same that the H8C, exactly the same. Already installed some ball bearings in order to reduce friction, so they are so-called MR74, so it means that the inner diameter is 4 mm, outer is 7, and you have the width of 2 mm. So I strongly advise to install some in order to reduce the friction. Well, you have to check before to start to fly with that each props is spinning completely freely, like mine is very no friction, and it's seems to be very efficient. Ball bearings installation seems to be very efficient. I also add to each of the 8 ball bearings small drops of silicone oil, and in order to completely decrease extra friction, limiting a lot the durability of motor is a known factors of the HAC. So be aware with this model. It scales approximately 148 grams with the FPV camera mount, but without prop guard, so had something like 10 grams more with prop guard. So it starts to be very heavy, but it's powered by a 2S LiPo, okay, like the HAC, so exactly the same quadcopter, though comes with light red orange color. It's nice. Okay, concerning the remote, they took the same chassis that the H12C, so I like a lot. You have the more or less large LCD here. You can find the lights and this button flipping on the top right, and you can start on off the video here, take a photo here, and here is to switch between mode 1 and mode 2. You can exchange the port if you are more right-handed throttle pilots. And finally here is the pseudo return to home headless mode. Well, as you know, since there is no barometer or GPS inside, it's become inefficient over time when you engage it very late in your flight, because it's lost completely orientations, the true orientation, due to the breeze, wind, and the different factors that the real trajectory is unfortunately completely biased. On top you can clip the FPV monitor, exactly the same that the double toys versions, so like the 686G, you can turn on the side, and you have the liner antenna on top. So the RX sensibility of this video receiver is not fantastic. Well, it means that the range is not optimal with this monitor. If you own already another video receiver working on 5.8 GHz or some video goggles, you will obtain much more better results. Okay, so by default you have some linear antenna in both the receiver and the transmitter. I strongly advise, if you want to fly it close to trees, obstacles, to install some cloverleaf antenna. If you only want to fly FPV on wide open area, you can keep this linear antenna, it will be okay. So you have a switch on the BNS. That's the good news. You can find the nice LED color like the HAC, white front, blue on the side and rear. And as you can see now, I've got the display working. Okay, so the field of view actually is quite narrow. Well, there is good and bad news. The good news that the lens is orientation can be adjusted, but the bad news is the lens mount now is not a M7 format but more a M6. So you cannot install the cheap M7 wide lens like the Double-Toy V6 H8D, but you probably check the both video transmission part and the video in the camera modules. You can probably install the 808DS16 lens plus sensor thanks to the common 20 pines ribbon cable. So they should be compatible, so you can install remove the former ribbon cable of this one and install the 8081. I will make a small test, so let's start. I will also try to as you can see, I tuned my FPV Google on 5648 megahertz, and we start recording. Okay, you will see that when the recording is off, the transmission is quite fluid, no perfect, no frame drop, and as soon as I will start the recording by pressing, you will see on the bottom left the information. You can observe some frame drops, okay, in the transmission. No choice, it's like this. So like the Double-Toy V686G versions, but it's still playable. Okay, I will resume now the flight and I will engage the camera. So I will turn off the light and start the camera here. Yeah, as you can see now. Well, it's filming. So be aware the monitor can fall, so on your control, so it's not very easy or can be dangerous sometimes. So the breeze starts to raise a bit here, but it will be okay. So I turn into 70% to have a smoother flight. Of course, as soon as you engage the recording, the FPV transmission is a little bit slowing down. I will try to show you on the FPV monitor. While the screen is very bright, so it's very hard to see outside, even with the sunshade. So it's definitively not a good point. Strongly advised to fly your quadcopter with a real Google to FPV monitor. So there are some modes, they change this bright screen into more matte one and is much more better. Or transform, use this monitor to do your do-it-yourself Google. So as you can see, it's a great flyer, even in 70%. So it's very nice. I will try to make some. What I like, it's much more silent compared to the former versions. So I think you can see in the background the mountains. The range seems okay. Okay, I will go smoothly on the horizontal plane. I don't know if you can see, on the same time the monitor. It's hard to maintain the monitor from my camera. Oops. Stop recording.